Ralph, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. All right, 1 second. Super chat
Total
just came
Tuber
in.
Destruction sent $5 more Tuber pedos. This one is very popular.
More VTuber pedos. I'm getting sent in. That wasn't really on the agenda, but what are your thoughts on the VTuber war that has broken out? War on
The
VTubers, I
V,
guess.
yeah, the VTube stuff is disgusting, man. Like the KIKI person, the clip I uploaded of what she was talking about, and the one that I saw you play a clip where one had a pacifier in their mouth and they just kept on repeating, "Baby, baby." It's all like over sexual. It's all of it has to do with like sexualization and all this stuff. That seems like all they talk about. Even in Gator's walkthrough with Legal Mindset, he was like, "Oh yeah, look at the cardboard cutouts feet," and he's like, "I know you guys love it," and all this stuff. So it's all really disgusting it, and it's all people that are probably addicted to porn, and just highly degenerate, and it's pedophilic and awful. And a lot of people have called it out. Josh called it out.
He did.
Um, yeah, and a lot of other people did, but it's kind of weird. Some people are just staying quiet on it, which it's like you know that they don't agree with it, but they aren't willing to really say anything about it for whatever reason. So that's a little bit odd.
Well, because they're scared. I mean, a lot of these people are pretty militant. I've gotten, I don't know, probably like 100 death threats and, just insane lies made up about me and, the works, I guess you could say. We're going
Yeah.
to find you and posting old doxes of mine and all kinds of crazy shit. A lot of these people seem fearful, or maybe they'll say one or two things on Twitter, but they won't really go in on their shows, etc. Is it just down to fear, or are they afraid of pissing off some of their paying supporters, or both?
It has to do with that, and then I think a lot of the supporters or a lot of people that follow Gator and some of these other people and Jim and stuff are really into it. So I don't think that they and Andy too. Like they don't. I don't think they want to call it out. I don't think a lot of them agree with it. Like, but they aren't. I don't think they're willing to call it out because a lot of their fans like it, or they just don't want to like give you a W or any of that stuff. You know, it could be one of those two things. So they'll like kind of deflect onto something else, but I don't really think that they agree with it. I know Gator does because Gator,
Well, yeah.
went and talked to it and all this other shit, but I don't think like Andy or Jim really do. I just don't think that they're willing to call it out because I think a large portion of their audience are like into that, or like a good chunk.
Well, I don't know about Warski, but I'd have to disagree with you on Medicare since he's been promoting this nonstop for years. I mean, is it really any way he didn't know about this stuff? I mean, possibly. But he's been promoting Pippa Pipkin. The clip that Perspicasti posted, safe and legal pedophilia, and you can say that's a joke if you want. I don't see the comedy there, and Medicare always acts like he doesn't know what's going on, and this or that. And I'm not trying to draw you in to a battle with him, of course, but it just seems a little suspect to me that he wouldn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that some people aren't saying anything. I think it's obvious. Like the clip of Pippa is obviously wrong. I don't know how often that's talked about, but it's pretty clear what she's saying. It's pretty clean cut, and I think that it's good to disavow that stuff and not try to support it or anything like that because it's pretty clear what she's saying there. So
It's extremely clear. And
yeah,
again,
it's not a joke
no,
for
it's not.
sure.
It's not a joke. I know that's how they try to play it off. It's not a joke. There's other disturbing clips of hers that we played, and I'm quite certain that we're just at the very beginning stages of this, and more stuff's going to continue to come out. Somebody just sent me another video. The Japanese VTubers are even more out there with it in some cases, although it's hard to get more out there with it than that Pippa clip. That was pretty. I mean, I was
It's pretty
stunned.
bad.
Yeah, I was stunned when I heard that. Honestly, I couldn't even believe that existed. I mean, that is what they're
Yeah.
doing basically, creating a market for pedophiles to spend. Now, is every single person who watches this shit a pedophile? I wouldn't say so, but
No.
is that what they're really, the super, supporters, the super spenders, the merch people? You would have to be an idiot to think that there aren't some pedophiles in that club, right? And the baby, 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 and a boy smell and all this, and it's like a fucking 2 or 3 year old girl avatar. I mean, that's pedophilic content. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, and it's just right there. You know, they don't really try to hide or anything, which I was shocked by. I did not know. You know, I saw Jim doing stuff with Pippa or like any of these other people. I had no idea for like the
Me
last
either.
couple years that they would be talking about stuff like that. It was kind of shocking to me. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I
But
had no clue because I just didn't even care to look into it. Right? I was like, okay,
yeah,
weird anime shit. Like that's not my jam anyway. All right, looks freakish. Whatever. You know, that's their thing. But I wish I would have looked into it now,
yeah,
because it was
for
right
sure.
there. It was right there the whole time. And so, yeah, I was like you. I was genuinely surprised and shocked. I guess I shouldn't have been, but I never, it's like, oh, VTubing, weird Jap shit, right? Like, okay, all right, not
Yeah.
my thing, right? I'm not gonna. I have other topics. I have other stuff to talk about. Not getting invested. And then Gator brought all this down on their heads by being an ultimate cringe lord at the convention. Like this is what caused that. Him.
Yeah, 100%. That legal mindset interview is like such a fucking hilarious stream. Like I couldn't believe that he did that. I guess he just did it because you know Perspicacity and Godwinson were
Yes.
trolling him or whatever, trying to find him. So he was like, "Well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna call legal mindset and do a walkthrough of it." It's like,
Which was
holy
the
shit.
dumbest thing he could have possibly done. Yeah, he was trying to own the meme, quote unquote, and they were already doing some gator spotting, some gator hunting, and they found him several times in that overhead shot where he's got the reverse mohawk cut into the top of his head. I don't know what's going on there, but he was already getting embarrassed. He probably should have just left it there, but instead he decides to let's do a walkthrough, let's do a meet and greet with a fucking computer screen and act like, I mean, talk about embarrassing yourself. It's a cartoon. I mean, there is a voice behind it, but you're getting owned. Clearly, the bitch didn't want to talk to him in the first place. It makes that clear several times during the clip. I don't know, dude. I was just
How
stunned.
do you fail? He failed to riz up like a fucking 2D anime girl on a fucking computer screen. It's like one of the funniest clips ever. Like I couldn't believe that he was trying to riz up this like fucking computer screen at this
And it
event
has
dressed as anime character.
Well, G-Boy
198,000
sent ten
views, by
dollars,
the way.
baby, 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 baby,
Yeah.
baby, 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 baby,
Oh my
baby.
god. Is this? I'll let this play for a second. All right, let me let this song play because I got to step away for a second anyway. We got Shamoo here. We'll get into some other topics. I didn't plan to talk about that. I also didn't plan on talking about KingofPol, but, he's dubbed you the chief of staff, and so we may have to talk about KingofPol too, but I'll be right back.
Nice.
Shamoo here live on the Killstream. Let's go. 58 shows in a row. This will be 59 if we hit it. All right, still playing. The previous super chat, we will go through that as well. But I'll talk to Shamoo first. Don't think I forgot about that. We're going to go heavy on the VTubers, especially KIKI. There's a lot of insanity out there about that bitch. And we're going to go through a lot of it today. A different type of baby clip.
So insane. She talked about Lolly and then was like, and I used to teach preschoolers. It's like,
That clip, even Josh was like, what the fuck? All right, I'll let this play. I don't know how long it is. It doesn't have too long. Disheveled Human in chat says VTubing is about creating safe spaces for PDFs. Yeah, that's how I see it too. Especially, there's a certain class of VTuber that we're going after here. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. All right, now we'll move off the VTubing because we got to talk about that. We got to talk about the Thorps. We got to talk about your new video. KingofPol.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
KingofPol, like, is really his online history is just like a comedy of spectacular errors. I've known him for a long time, and
Me too.
knew him back in 20 yeah, knew him back in 2018 when the Outlines thing happened and all that, and before that, probably since 2016, 2017. And I always felt bad for Brian, but I didn't really like pay attention to what he did. And I didn't. He would always like give off these stories that he would be the ultimate victim in all of them.
Yeah, of course.
And I just felt bad for him mostly. And so like I'd still talk to him and everything. And fast forward to recently, to one of the times that I was on your show, Brian was trying to get on the show, and they weren't gonna let him on the show or whatever. They didn't want him on for that day, whatever. So then he's like DMing me, telling me he's gonna blackmail me with like private information and all this stuff that he's gonna go on Ralph's show and he's gonna tell everybody unless someone lets him on the show.
And I'll tell you what happened. Chief of Staff, who I don't have a Chief of Staff right now, by the way, but whatever. Chief of Staff was like, don't let this guy on. He's killing the viewers. People are fleeing every time he comes on because he never fucking. And I had a guest that day too. That's right. I just got a message about that. I had a guest that day. He comes on. He runs his mouth, and like viewers flee because he just like soaks up all the air in the room, right? And it's like, don't bring him on, and I didn't want him on either at the time. He was trying to muscle his way on the show basically to be like a co-host or something.
Yep.
And you said you've known him since 2018. I've known him since 2014, and know everything about the guy pretty much, unfortunately, going all the way back to when I started in the Gamergate days. So I have known this guy forever, and one thing I'll say about him is he is the biggest liar I've ever known on the internet, and one of the biggest liars I've ever known in my entire life. And it's like pathological with him too. It's not. It's almost like he can't help it. It's some type of. I don't know. It's like a mental disorder, in my opinion, with the way he lies and the ease with which he lies, and he creates very intricate backstories and very intricate supporting, not documentation, but supporting testimony to back up these lies to the point where, George Costanza used to say on Seinfeld, it's not a lie if you believe it, right? And that's how I see Brian Dunn.
Yeah, and he would use a lot of people, like he would say he would use me or Perspicacity or Godwinson to like get across whatever lie or point he had. But so just recently, so like after he did the blackmail thing, I don't talk to him anymore. I don't want him around because it's like that's just psychopath shit. But every now and then he'll probably do it after this stream. He acts like all these people that are enemies of esoteric shaggyism and tries to tell them that I don't know if he believes it or he's just trying to get me doxxed. I don't I don't know what the reason is, but he'll just do that every time he gets mad at me, I guess. And he's posted other places too on forums and stuff trying to get attention. It's retarded. Another thing that Brian's just done, he went on some guy's stream and was talking about how he had to fight the urge to like kill Ralph and all this stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and he's saying that he found Christ and all this stuff. But if you look at his new account and you go to his followers, do you have the image, Ralph, or I can send it to you?
You can send it to me. We had it pulled up at one point, but yeah, you can send it to me. Is that the Mr. Meadowcuck account or whatever the fuck? That was the last one I saw he had. I don't know. He sucks all around the place. And of course, it's very easy to tell it's him because, first off, he always starts speaking about himself in the third person. That's one tell. And then he has the same stock library of lines that he uses. And so it's very easy to pick him out on a image board, too. Like or on Kiwi Farms, he tried to sock. And I was the first one to out him on Kiwi Farms as a sock, by the way. But he's been outed like 16 times since then, socking on Kiwi Farms, and it's very easy to tell that it's him because he's really stupid. and I don't know how else to put it. He's not a very intelligent individual. And so, oh, is this what he's following? I heard is this
Yeah.
the tranny lust? Oh no, no way.
Yeah, so he's following a trans OnlyFans, like a porn tranny on Twitter. You know, he's found God and all this stuff, but he's he's following
He found
he's
Christ
following
in
an
a man's
OnlyFans
asshole.
trend.
Is that what happened here? Now let me pull this up on the screen. And again, this was totally unplanned, but I figured why not. This is a rather large account. I guess this is a famous trans person.
Yeah, I guess
18
so.
plus trans computer science student, OnlyFans girl, quote unquote. Minors, DNI, I guess, I mean, do not, I don't know, do not come here. I don't know what the I should be, do not enter, I would think, but
And
whatever.
the audience themselves, I wouldn't pull it up on stream, but the audience
No.
themselves, if they want to see, if they want to see the stuff he's like here or whatever, you can, you can see it from the account. But it's bad, man. It's bad.
No, I won't pull it up on stream. That's the one thing Rumble won't let me do, and I don't want to do either, by the way.
No.
Followed by Mr. Meadowcock. Well, you know, he also got caught talking to this Maddie cat, who's also a complete psycho, by the way. But
Yeah,
he
they
was
are.
talking to them in Discord and, you know, commenting on their looks and how they could look more womanly. And of course, all this got released because that's what happens on Discord if you do stuff like that. And well, he tried to deny it. You know, he doesn't. Oh, what are you talking about? I was just having a normal conversation, treating them like a normal person. It's clear that he's homosexual. It's clear that he has a thing for trannies. Like, it's not even a question. I don't even see how he could deny it at this point. You know, the outlines, we know all about that. Several other incidences and incidents, excuse me. And then this right here, following a what other purpose is there to follow this person, Shamoo, other than
There's
lust,
no reason. It's
right?
literally just like a tranny porn star
Yes.
or whatever. Same thing.
Same
OnlyFans
difference these
person.
days. Like,
Yeah,
most of these,
it's
it's
the
a
same
huge
shit.
account. Yeah, it's the same shit. It's 324,000 followers. He follows the account. Brian, what are you doing? I don't
It's
understand
crazy.
why he
I
doesn't
don't
just
know.
log off. Like, it never makes any sense to me. You know, he talks about his good job, his good family, although I don't know about all that. But regardless, this is my job, right? I'm not logging off. He could easily just log off and go away, but he always wants to be a part of the action. And at one point, people may not know this, but during the days of Gamergate, he used to have huge streams, almost daily, going over the news of the day at Gamergate. And that's how I got into streaming, really, was appearing on those streams as a blogger, as a guy who was writing about Gamergate. And then that, progressed to me doing my own streams and Medicare and all this stuff. He was called an internet aristocrat back then, but I was on the inside. They had their own Skype group. I was in it. They were doing all kinds of gay ops. That's when I really saw the internet for what it was, and how fake people were in public while they were doing dirt behind the scenes. And that's kind of what actually
True.
woke me up to what this place really is. It's a cesspool, and if you want to be around for a while, you better be willing to get down in the cesspool, because that's what it is, right? I mean, I don't know how else to say it, because all these
Yeah,
people
it's true.
say one thing in public and then they're acting a completely different way in private. But I was in the internet aristocrat KingofPol clique, basically, and there was a period of time during Gamergate I talked to those guys almost every single day for 2 or 3 months, Medicare included, and he never speaks about this, but that's all true. I was on the inside. I know all of King of Paul's antics. He got ran out of Gamergate because he was a clown and got trolled with the fake Nick Denton leak. I'm really going into some history here, but he's been an idiot and a moron for a long time, and he was basically propped up by Jim. One of the reasons Jim quit Gamergate was because of how they did King of Paul, and he didn't think that was right, I guess. And so he kind of soured on Gamergate after that. Now, later on, he finally got fed up with King of Paul, which is what usually happens. And so he did the outline stream. And then I did a little stream of my own later that night with King of Paul's ex girlfriend, I believe ex fiance, where she just goes completely nuclear on him. And that was the same day of the outline streams, basically the follow up to that. And so
That day is crazy. Like that,
yeah,
the outline stream, and then you have who he said was his wife, come on your stream. Like that is
yes.
some. That day for him is fucking insane.
It will live in infamy. Yeah, and unbeknownst to him, me and her talked all the time, even while they were together, and she was making fun of him and clowning on him the whole entire time. Sarah was her name. She used to date Weave, believe it or not,
Yep.
before that, and so she was a friend of mine. You know, I was engaged, actually married at that time. And before I went to London to meet with Nora, and she was telling me all these places we should go and stuff. She'd been to London, etc. So we were good friends. And so when it came time to kick King of Paul in the face, she was ready, willing, and able. And so she came on, and it's called the Queen of Pole edition of the Killstream. Hard to find, but not impossible to find, I'll say. I do have a certain amount of archives. But anyway, is he going to go away? I think we know the answer to that, but I'll ask you that.
No. He's not going to go away. But there's one more thing. Did you see that he got caught while he was fighting with TXT on Twitter, and he got caught pretending to be like a black guy? Did you see that?
No. No, I
Alright.
didn't. He thinks I think about him all the time, and I never do, unless it comes up like naturally, like today, because he's been saying crazy shit about you. There is a clip where he says daily he has to like fight the urge to kill me. And it's like, dude, I never even fucking think about you, dude.
The guy asked him. He was like, "I saw you. You were talking about hurting Ralph and all this stuff." He was like, "Do you still think about that?" And he was like, "I struggle with it every day."
It's like, dude, what the fuck? I mean,
It's
you know
amazing.
how many times I try to make peace with this guy, even in the last year. Like, I'll fine, okay, he's back. Like, all right, I'll let him. You know, he's calling in. I'll let him call in. I've known him for 10 years. I know the cycle though, and I knew better, right? But I'm like, oh, okay, we'll just let it play out. He's trying to get on the show. He's sending in super chats, whatever. Okay, I'll be nice. This has happened at least 10 times where I'm just like, all right, Brian, bygones will be bygones. And then every single time he fucks me over and says some crazy shit, well, I crush him like a bug. It's not very hard to do. It's the easiest thing online to do because he's a moron. And just ruthlessly, mercilessly crush him. And you can go and look on the ralphretour.com. There's article after article where I just outed him in just the worst ways possible. He said he sent a cease and desist to me. He said, which he didn't do, by the way. I would wipe my ass with it if he did. He claimed he was going to sue me. He had all these. He claimed I called CPS on him, which I did not, and do not contact the police unless it's an extreme circumstance. I don't deal with police or CPS or anything else. He made up this lie, peddled that all over the place. Even after all that, last summer I was like, okay, we'll wipe the slate clean again. Always a mistake, Shamoo. Always a mistake.
That was the difference between you and I, is because I always heard about the cycle or whatever, but I was like, well, maybe there's like,
true. Yeah. Maybe
different circumstances
yeah.
and stuff. And he fucking did the same thing. And that whole cycle thing is legit real. It's happened so many times. Like, I just never went through his history fully, but there's so many different groups and so many different, like, groups of content creators or just people online that he's done this with. It's amazing, honestly. It's been going on for almost a decade now.
Dude, yes, literally a decade. Literally a decade. And it happens every single time. And I'm like, I almost feel sorry for him sometimes. I don't know. But, it's like, oh, it's King of Paul. Okay. It's the guy from Gamergate. We had some fun streams together back in the day. All right. Maybe he's learned his lesson. Of course, he never fucking has. And, I have to blame myself, but it is fun crushing him like a bug. So that's the fun part of the cycle. But is this him? Okay, this what in the world?
That's the second one. That's the second one where the guy is calling him out. The first one is his original post.
Oh, wait. Okay. I see the first one now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get these. This was unplanned.
So
I'm sure he'll think this is like a planned hit job. We had no plans to talk about him at all. And then right before you came on, I was like, okay, we have to. But no, this was not planned whatsoever. But he'll think this is some Machiavellian plot to smear his character. Brian, that's not hard to do. And it's not a smear. It's the truth, you fucking moron maniac.
okay, let me pull this up here. And I know he's watching right now. Psychotic motherfucker. Okay. This is just next level, Shamoo. My God.
It's awesome. It's so awesome.
So we've already outed this as his account. I did it on Twitter. I'd gotten a tip that it was him, and of course I looked through and saw that it was. It was obvious. And so I outed it on Twitter because fuck him. And he immediately locked his account. Then he unlocked his account. So first thing he did was lock down the account. I don't know if he went and deleted some shit or what. But obviously, okay, got him, right? We got him.
Yep.
And then he unlocked it. Which you should have just kept it locked. You should have just deleted it. But anyway, okay, so here's the screenshot. He says, "What the fuck are you even talking about, bitch boy? You are some weirdo beta male. Only thing you are known for is being dragged onto a stream for talking to minors on Discord, LOL. Typical sick weirdo incel behavior from a lolcow like you. I ain't your boyfriend and you got nothing. Have an arm." And it's him, not him, obviously. It's some rando black guy holding up a plate of assorted meats and beans and looks like collard greens, and maybe some macaroni and cheese. I don't know what that is, macaroni salad or something.
Yeah. And they immediately reverse image searched it and
now let me pull
and
that
found
one
it
up.
elsewhere. And this is a long, like, he argued with TXT, Sprayt, and some other guys for like hours. But he starts to talk black too as they go into the argument. Like, he starts to talk like a black man.
By the way, TXT, I don't like that faggot either, and I have my own reasons. But, you know, he's like Albert Einstein compared to KingofPol, right? Like, I mean, it's not... he's outgunned by everybody. I haven't seen anybody he could... You know what I mean? Like, it's not even people I don't like and have real reasons not to like, who worked against me and tried to keep me from my family, tried to keep me from seeing my son in TXT's case, tried to do every dirty trick in the book. And even I have to say, TXTW, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how bad it is with KingofPol. Okay, here goes the super chat.
Adal Wolf sent $1 on Rumble. Brian never figured out he was only kept around for people's amusement.
Yes, he never did.
Like a monkey in the zoo. He only exists to throw peanuts at. Stupid outline bitch.
No, he never figured that out.
Anon sent $3. Suvarok sucks dick.
That's true. Suvarok does suck dick. I agree with that, Anon. All right, now... That's another fucking... Don't get me started. We'll get off topic. We won't be able to cover everything. Okay. Because this was unplanned, and I do want to get into the Thorps in your video, too. Because that was actually the main topics, and I got off to... I'm just fascinated by his stupidity, Shamoo. I can't help it, and so I apologize. But, so this is where they outed him. And again, I don't like TXT. I don't like a lot of these people. I don't know this person in particular, so I won't comment, but... Probably not a alpha male, probably not a fan of mine. But again, there's nobody that doesn't outgun this guy. KOP, bro, did you try to prove your blackness by grabbing a picture of a random black guy from Pinterest? Wahahaha. Come on, fam. This is just embarrassing. And then, rather than just take the hit, take the L, as David Spade would say. If you've ever seen that stand up, I have. Just take the L. Sometimes you have to just take the L, right? Like that's... Yep. Just take the L, move on. We all have to take them, right? I've had to take them, and by God, I've taken some big ones. And what can you do? Yep. Just hold that L and move on, right? Well, he can never do that. He says, no proof of anything, pussy. You bitches ain't got shit but spurging online and looking at lolly shit. And then he put a cap next to it. And is this him talking? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. This is from January. See, people are sending me things, Shamoo. Everybody hates this guy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's not even... Okay.
It's crazy.
All right, let me upload this last one. I swear this is the last one because we got to talk Thorps and your new video. And hold on a sec. Let me go back to Imager. Okay. What a fucking buffoon. This is him talking with Gator. By the way, Gator, who he said he hated and had this like vitriolic debate with. Well, once he had he had a falling out with me. I didn't do anything to him. And so once he, thought there was some conspiracy. First off, I don't have to let anybody on my show if I don't want them on my show. Like, you don't have a right to come on my show, Brian, you fucking moron. And it doesn't matter for whatever reason. I can just not want you on the show and you won't be on the show. So that's what started all this up and why he's been on his latest jihad. Anyway, let me pull this up. Okay, I grabbed the wrong link. This is him talking to Gator in January. What do you think he's talking to him about? Well, I'll tell you. It's anime. This
I was gonna say lolly stuff
yes,
or anime.
yes. This penguin is such a hoe. She's been bred by half the entire farm, is what Gator said, which is a very weird tweet to make in the first place. And then Cow Poster, who's confirmed as one of his other socks, says, have you been watching Solo Leveling? I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's sick shit.
Yeah,
Gator, I don't know. Chat, maybe somebody can fill me in. But Gator says, yes, Solo Leveling is great. And then Brian goes, I've read all the chapters. It's Kino. Guy can rival Goku or Saitama at the end. I mean, I know Goku, Dragon Ball Z, but Saitama, is that Dragon Ball Z too? I don't know. So there he is commiserating with Gator. Is there any...
That's like his number one enemy too.
I know.
That's fucking hilarious. It's like asking his opinions on anime and stuff. Like, and this is from January, so this is after they had their debate on Cogs or whatever.
Yes.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yes, this is after. He immediately started sucking up to Gator. He tried to suck up to Kinagate. Like, all these people who he hates, they hate him too. And you know what? Kinagate too is, and I am loath to ever give him any credit because he's a piece of trash, and you don't have to get involved with that. That's my personal opinion. Even he said, fuck off, Brian. Literally, his quote was, fuck off, Brian, immediately, because it's easy to tell who it is right away. Yeah. Fuck off, Brian, was what he said. Nobody wants him around. They all hate him. And the few people who did tolerate him, you're one of them. Godwinson, Perspicacity, a couple others, he just ruthlessly stabbed them in the back. And so now I don't even know who he hangs around with, honestly. But that's the latest on KingofPol. I'm quite sure it won't be the last, though. But why not do a little segment in Brian's honor? Speaking of segments of an honorable nature, possibly a dishonorable nature, what about the Thorps? Shamoo, you're the expert.
Thorps been crazy for the last week. That arrest, I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's like something out of a fucking movie. I mean, they had drones, they had canines. It's like they brought the entire, they brought like 5 or 6 cops, which I was shocked by. Like, if it was, if somebody had called that was just like an anonymous caller that didn't really have any weight, would they really send 2 canines, a drone, and 5 cops?
Of course.
You know what I mean? You think that's weird too, right? So yeah. I don't know if they were looking at him or like watching him and all this stuff or what, but something was going on.
It doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to figure out what happened here. And I won't. I made my thoughts known on the stream yesterday about what happened there. And, you know, I don't have 100% proof, but obviously it was, in my opinion, a more intimate source who outed them. And the cop even says that at one point, where she keeps going, it's an anonymous source, da 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 da, and they said, no, it's anonymous to you, not anonymous to us. It wasn't just some troll calling. The cop even says that. So, but regardless of who called, whether it was a troll or not, or somebody they knew, relative, whatever, I said this on May 20th, and I replayed the clip yesterday, Shamoo. I said, y'all are going to get busted. You've already gotten busted once. When you get busted again, it's going to be even worse. He's going to have to do some jail time because it's 2 top flight violations. I've explained that there's different levels to this shit, like texting, emails, a phone call. That's like lower level shit that they might fine you or just warn you or something like that. No contact order means you're not supposed to be in proximity of that person within 500 feet. And Grace can lie and sit and say all the bullshit she wants. That's what a no contact order is, and I know damn well what it is. And I won't go into how I know, but I know. And the top level of violation is being with that person. And I said this yesterday. I have certain things of that nature. And so when I go across the border, they pull me off to the side and make sure I'm not with such and such person every time I cross into the United States.
Wow.
which is fucking crazy, by the way, and ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's how serious they treat these orders.
Yeah.
And, yes, they had out the whole fucking, SWAT team drones, fucking, the paddy wagon,
Crazy.
because they take that shit serious. And I don't know if you know the scoop on this or not, but I didn't realize at first that he was in Massachusetts, but he was. And so he
Yeah.
wasn't in Rhode Island, which means maybe they put some charges on him there too for evading. I don't know. But the original order is in Rhode Island. Now, they honor it all over the United States and at the border and everywhere else. Now, in a foreign country, they might not honor it, but all 50 states, they honor it. And so that means he'll have to be extradited back to Rhode Island. Am I incorrect in my analysis of that?
No, that's correct. Yeah, right now I would think that he's in the Sturbridge jail, and they're probably getting ready to transfer him back to Rhode Island. I've been checking online for like the inmate
Rusty
thing,
Discogs
and
sent
it's
$5
still
on
not
Rumble.
It's not
updated,
updated
probably
yet?
because
Today,
it's not.
Ben
Yeah, I
was
want that
released from
mugshot.
jail
Not
on
a
personal bond from MA
major
yesterday.
jail. Someone might find it before me if it does, but I don't think it's been updated yet, and I haven't seen anyone post anything about it. So, but as soon as they transfer him from Sturbridge to Rhode Island, then he'll be back in the Adult Corrections Institute of Rhode Island, and yeah, he's gonna do some time. The last one, he took a plea deal. He pled no contest, and they gave him a year no contact order, restraining order from Grace, and then a year of domestic violence classes. And they just, I mean, immediately after he got out, they went, they went into the woods. They started going from campsite to campsite, I guess, to try to stop people from calling or something like that. So nobody knew really where they were. I mean, but somebody had found them, and somebody found them in Connecticut. They said in Connecticut, cops came up, and they were able to talk those cops down while they were in Connecticut. But then when they went to Massachusetts, for whatever reason, they were really gung ho. They were more, had more initiative to do something than the cops in Connecticut. And yeah, they just busted in there. And I think he's going to get resisting arrest too, because they're calling for him, telling him to come out. He refuses to come out for an hour. They wasted, wasted time there. The canines circling the RV over and over again. So
Well, that's an hour of wasted police time. Now, somebody in chat's claiming this. I would assume you might know more, and I'm not calling this guy a liar. Maybe he's got some inside scoop, but Rusty Discogs in chat says, just found out today that Ben was released from jail on personal bond from Massachusetts yesterday. Now, that would be surprising to me. But he says he called the jail today. Okay, put the number in chat and I'll call it live on air.
yeah, put it in chat. I know Rusty, so that's
Okay, if you know that person,
that could have
then-
just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put the number, put the police number in chat, Rusty, and Raph will call it.
Yeah, I'll call it live on air. What does it say? Do you have a prisoner there named Ben Thorpe?
Yeah.
I guess what else can I say? He's a person of public interest. We're trying to find out if he's in your facility. I guess that's probably
That
what he did.
is
How?
so crazy to me if he got it.
That blows my
Honestly.
mind, honestly.
Like, what?
If that's...
Are you sure? I wonder if they think that he was released, but maybe he was just transferred, because even the police said that he was going to be transferred, so they may not have him in there, but it may be that he's being transferred to Rhode Island.
Yeah, so it's RD is what he says. I don't know what that means, but
He might just be behind.
yeah, he says it's RD. The jail closed at 4:40, but here's an oh fuck. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. I'm in Merida, so it's only 250 here. Yeah, you're right. I probably wouldn't be able to get through, but yeah, give me the number anyway. Been released from jail on personal bond from Massachusetts yesterday, but he's in violation in Rhode Island. I don't see them letting that go, Shamoo.
No, so it looks like they're telling me, I'm getting DMs, that he's out of jail, out on bond, and then he'll have court in Rhode Island, which is like really surprising to me, because even the cops said they were going to transfer him. So I guess he's out, and then he'll have court in Rhode Island over it.
Well, that ain't gonna be a good hearing.
I wouldn't think so.
They have
What
to
are they
put
gonna
him in
do
jail,
now?
did they not?
Yeah, I think you like have to, I mean, when you break I think it's immediately there if you break an order, and then they figure it out from there. So I'm surprised that he got released, because usually it's you have a hearing, but maybe they had a hearing and decided, all right, we'll let you out, but you have to go back to Rhode Island for your hearing or something like that.
That stuns me, honestly. And yeah, I mean, it's not automatic. It's up to the judge's discretion what they want to do, right? But he's already talked shit to this judge. They already let him off light, really. If he would have just done his classes, this probably would have got put away a lot quicker than a year. Okay, well, he decides to. First off, he's already gotten caught violating it at the highest level once, right?
Yeah.
And so they've caught him again, spitting in the judge's face, violating it at the highest level again. So, unless I'm just, and again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But judges don't like that, Shamoo.
No, they don't. He did a whole stream where he talked about, like, it was an epic stream, don't get me wrong, but he did a whole stream where he was like, if that judge, I was ready to jump over that counter and fucking tackle him and all this shit. He's talking about assaulting the judge on one of his streams after one of the hearings, which was wild.
Well, I certainly hope the judge doesn't get that footage. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? You know what? Fuck
Yeah.
the Thorps. I'm done with both those fucking scumbags. And, total Thorpe destruction as far as I'm concerned. And I have some people in my DMs, and they're like, oh, no, Grace, she's... No, they're both trash. You know what? Forget that shit. I gave
Yeah,
up on
rotten.
rotten to the core, and I don't even care how she got there. She's rotten, and she deserved to burn right along next to him. And it took me a long time to get to that place, and we've had conversations about this off air even. And you're just like, Ralph, like, man, I'm trying to tell you, dude. And guess who was right? Guess who was right? Shamoo. And even the other night, I'm still trying to talk sense into her, and then it's like, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. Die slow. Like there's no helping these people at all, even when you want to. Predictions, and then we'll talk about your video, because I want to talk about that some too.
Predictions
for the Thorps.
for the Thorps. Man, I I don't know now. I'm like surprised. That's like
Me
breaking
too.
news that he's out of jail. I honestly didn't think that was gonna happen. A lot of shit could happen now that he's out of jail. I mean, Ben. So
Yeah.
Ben, with a lot of his court cases in the past, he would just plan on not showing up at all. So
That doesn't
like,
work.
for divorce court and stuff like that, like there were times where he just wouldn't show up. The last time they were in divorce court, they had 2 sessions, I think, and he no-showed both of those. Now this last one he went, and I think he was talking about no-showing the upcoming one. But now that he's out, like I don't know. I mean, won't they have him like be watching him or something like that? Like, what if he just tried to? What if they just tried to get in the RV and flee?
Well, I would
What
think he would
happens
have to
then?
be on surveillance. I saw Grace streaming earlier. It looked like from a hotel room. I mean, do we really doubt that he's going to violate the order almost immediately again? I don't. But
No, yeah, he'll
he has to
violate
be
it
under
again.
some type of surveillance, I would think. But I don't know, man. I couldn't say, but I can say what'll happen if you don't show up and you've been served with divorce papers and you don't show up. Well, you know what eventually happens, Shamoo? The other party gets every single thing they're asking for, and
Yep.
that's how it works. They get everything judged in their favor, and you lose it all. That's what happens if you no-show divorce court after you've been served papers. Now, if you haven't been served, it's a different story. It's a whole different process. But even then, eventually, it might take a year, it might take a while, but you'll still have to go to court and represent your side, or else the other side will get everything they're asking for, and you're fucked. So,
Yeah, I think that's probably the most likely outcome of their thing, because they'll ask Ben for this or that, and then nothing will ever happen. Like he'll just try to avoid, and so I think he'll probably get wrecked by the end of it all. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. After I get done here, I'll look up and see if
yes,
he's
please
got
do.
a court. Yeah, and I'll post it on Twitter or whatever if I see anything. But yeah, that must have just happened. And the district court is closed, so you wouldn't be able to call him today. But I guess you'd have to call him tomorrow or something.
Yeah, and they'll have court on Friday, so there'll definitely be court clerks and shit there tomorrow to be able to call, because most places court is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Although it depends on the jurisdiction. But now let me pull up your video, and I want you to talk about that a little bit. I know you've talked about it in some other formats, among some other things you talked about that I won't go into. But I also saw Chud Logic playing it on his show, and I've been told, look at Coach Red Pill right there in the thumbnail. What a king! Now explain this to us. Now it's almost a 2-hour video. It's an hour and 40 minutes. So about what 100-minute video, very lengthy, but lengthy for a reason. Explain this to the audience, the characters in this psychodrama, and why they might want to check it out.
It's the title of the video is the YouTube's most psychotic breakup, and to me it definitely is. So this random
Really,
woman that
even
was
talking to me, even with
yes,
me sitting
yeah,
here. Wow. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Okay. You
yeah,
got
I
me.
think
You
so.
got me hooked. All right. Go ahead.
All right. So a fangirl of this guy that streams named Morbid X. He's actually an infamous guy back in the day, at least on YouTube, by the name of Jimmernam, but now he streams as Morbid X. So this woman's a fangirl of him. They start dating in secret. They start dating in secret, and they're dating for 2 months. They're texting back and forth and all this stuff. She then flies from New York to California to see him. And when she shows up, he finds out she looks nothing like he thought that she would look because she uses filters and all this stuff. So she looked totally different than what he thought he was getting. And then she also has his first and last name tattooed on her arm. So imagine you're dating someone from online and you meet them, and when you meet them, you find out that they have your first and last name tattooed on their forearm.
And they
So
look like shit compared to what you thought they were gonna look like.
yeah.
And they're already
Yeah.
branding themselves your property. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, already
not good.
branding. So he still decides, okay, well, whatever. We'll try to make this work. She was supposed to stay for 2 weeks. She stayed there for 1 week. It did not go well.
I guess
And
not.
so at the end of the first week, he's telling her, like, you got to go. You got to get out of here. And she's refusing to leave. She would sit on his couch for the next 11 hours, refusing to leave his house. And he actually films a video, and it's in my doc, of him filming her trying to get her to leave the house, which she refuses to do. And then they have to call the police. The police escort her out of the house. And then she goes home. There's a bunch of other little things, but she goes home. This woman then goes to his trolls, tries to give all the information, do interviews about.
I've
I'm
never
Morbid
seen that
X's
happen
ex-girlfriend."
before.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Never seen that. But then here's the kicker to that. After she does that, she commits herself to a 6-month jihad, streaming sniping, streaming every day, streaming about how he's a pedophile, all the worst things that you can imagine. Then this guy also has done a lot of crazy shit. So he doxes her kids. He starts spamming her kids' names and all their information in chats, and then it's just a fucking absolute war. They're doxing each other. They're calling each other significant others. He was calling her ex-husbands to coordinate CPS reports and shit. And so it's just an all-out war. They're sending shit to each other's houses. They're sending police. They're making police reports, and it just keeps going. And it lasted for 6 months, and it all leads in where it is now to where a lawsuit's possible. There's cease and desist. There's lawyers ready. It's nuts. All from someone you dated for a couple months that you met one time.
Yeah, well, at least mine were a little bit lengthier than that. But first off, how did you even hear about this?
All this stuff is because of I would say I have a lot of friends in a lot of different communities, and a lot of the stuff that I know a lot of different people that I plan on doing videos about, and it's all the underbelly of YouTube. Not many people know about it. There's all kinds of these crazy little wars and crazy characters that nobody really knows about, and so I'll just hear about it through a network of friends that I have from in a different community, and then I'll be able to bring it to people that know me and people that watch my stuff, and they'll get to find out about it. So
That's a good skill to have, because I never would have heard about this stuff without you. And you are very plugged in, all over the place. But that was my first thought and I've seen this. I haven't watched the whole video, but people are like, you need to watch this, man. This shit's crazy. Da, da, da. And I'm like, who are these people? I don't even know what's going on. So my first thought was when I was introduced to the video was, how did Shamoo even fucking find out about this shit. What the fuck? I guess I should have
Yeah.
known, because we had another mutual acquaintance the other day that I was surprised that we had. I won't. I think it's known because I think it was mentioned on air, but I won't go into that either. Shamoo knows all kinds of motherfuckers. It's really wild. And I was talking to that person about the Thorpe situation last night as well. Just insanity. Now, what else could you tell them about the video? Where do you see this thing going? And now, of course, watch the video. There's a lot more in there. We don't want to spoil everything in there, but predictions there. It sounds like batten down the hatches.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is that it hasn't stopped, right? Like there might be lawsuits on the horizon and all this stuff,
Yeah.
but they're still doing streams like calling him a pedophile, like doxing, like all the same shit. Like even fans, like if you're a fan of one or the other, they will come after you. They will dox you. They will threaten to call your place of work. They'll threaten to call your family. Like, and it has not stopped. It's gonna keep going. I don't see it's ever stopping until legally they tell the girl to stop. That's the only way she'll stop, I think. And lawsuits don't scare her or anything else. So I think it's a few days until they can push for a judgment. Like if she can't afford a lawyer, then they'll push for a default judgment to get her to stop. But yeah, that's where I see it going. Probably is either ending in lots of lawsuits or just going on, forever. But I think it is going to end in a lawsuit probably.
Oh, well, I don't know how that goes. We'll see. Many lawsuits being threatened against me as well. They want the Japs to sue me. Gator wants to sue me, and I got a pretty good record in court actually. So anyway,
Sure.
we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Now, what do you? Don't spoil anything. I know a couple things, but what could you give us any hints about what you're working on? Of course, you're going to stay on the Thorpe stuff because, you've been kind of a pioneer of that coverage. So I know you're going to continue on with that. But any other projects on the horizon? Definitely follow his channel. I linked the video in the chat as well, which has his channel on it too. And hold on a sec, because I see. Oh well,
James
I'll play
Gardner
that in
sent
just a second.
$5 on Rumble.
James Gardner sent in a song. Thank you, James. I'll play that in just a second, sir. And we'll also go through that VTuber video that got sent in right before Shamoo came on the show. But what are you working on for the future? Any hints? Any areas of interest?
Yeah, I've been working on a really big video for a while without giving it away, but I think that everybody in Ralph's audience will like it. I think anybody in the sector will really enjoy it. And I've been working on it for a long time. And yeah, that should be out next. That should be the next video that drops, which I actually started working on prior to this video that Ralph has on screen right now. So lots of time. So it should be good.
Well, I know a little bit about it a little bit, and I think they'll enjoy it too. But anyway, I won't say anything else. Promote your channel, sir. Always one of my favorite guests. So plugged in on all this stuff. Knows everything I know, and then more shit just from the sidelines that I just as a streamer streaming every day. It's hard for me to burrow into some of these darker corners, right? And I can't, I'm me, right? So I'm known like immediately. It's like, oh, Ralph's here, and then everybody's blowing up with all this fucking shit and lies and truth and X this and X that and court all this. It's harder for me to kind of burrow in on my own. But you are an amazing talent at that, and finding these stories and breaking them down in a way that is digestible for the masses, particularly the Thorps story, which I think you deserve the lion's share of the credit for kind of elevating that up from the dregs up to the top here, where everybody's paying attention to it.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, if people want to find me, they can do so at Shamoo_. And then I have a Patreon at Shamoo411 if you want to support. And yeah, look forward to the next video. And I think you guys will all really like it. Thanks for having me on, Ralph.
My pleasure. Shamoo, live on the Killstream. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your upcoming weekend.
You too, man. Peace.
All right, peace out. Shamoo!
Thanks for watching this clip. This is Willow. Remember to like it, subscribe,